Hello world, it's Sophie. There it is. I'm finally finishing my series of swatches for the classic Posca markers. The way I do my swatches is quite original. Some may say weird actually. I'm doing art on tiny canvas, 10 cm square. That's 4 inches for those who need it. The first design starts very well, as dark blue is very juicy and opaque, and I'm trying my first 8K marker, the turquoise one. It exists only in this size and it's so comfortable to use. Do you hear the sound? It's not the scratchy sound we get with the other nibs. It sounds as soft as it is to use. The pen is so juicy, I definitely don't need to do a second coat. I don't know if all 8K markers are this way or not. After all, the 5M aren't the same. Just in this tiny canvas, we can see the markers don't behave equally. Dark blue and apple green are both 5M, but apple green is not opaque at all and clearly needed 2 coats to have a decent result. As I said earlier, there was 2 previous videos on this series, but it's totally okay if you missed them, as there is no real order. I just didn't want to swatch the 37 colors in one huge video. I already swatched 20 colors, so I have 16 colors left to do. Well, 17 actually, but since I use only 4 colors by canvas, I had to let go of 1 color, and I used black enough to know how it looks like. Anyway, I'll put the link at the end if you want to check them out. And you'll see all the art I made at the end, so maybe you won't even want to check the links. It's like I don't even want you to watch my videos. I should talk about the white also. Even though it looks like I painted nothing on this piece, well, I did. The first time I used this marker, I hated it because it was on paper and I was thinking nothing was happening. So I kept painting and painting and it ripped my paper apart. I initially thought the issue was the marker, but it was me. So be careful. Anyway, this pen is really useful on top of other colors as it's so big. I used it to make snowflake once and it was very nice. I think it's time to talk about the second painting, as it's advanced enough to see what's going on. Clearly, or not, it's 2 snowy mountains seen from night. I really enjoyed the bluish-grey gradient. As you see, navy blue is very dark, almost black, but still blue. Grey is, well, grey. There is no undertone. But slate grey really is a wonderful color. It's of course grey, but there is definitely a blue undertone in it. It's a perfect color between grey and navy blue. For the third painting, I have 2 colors that I don't see often. Glacier blue is available only in 1 nib size, and not a very practical one on top of that. And sunshine yellow is a new color from last year. You may have noticed I have 2 markers each for yellow and green. On my first video, I was using small nibs for details and the big nibs to paint quickly when it was safe. I guess I'm getting better, or maybe I'm less and less thorough, but really, I think I'm getting better. Anyway, now I just use the biggest nibs I have. This means 5M for everything. I paint much more quickly, and I don't bother to prime my other markers. I'm not sure it helps, but I prefer to keep them for later. Maybe it changes nothing to prime them or not, but I don't want to take any chance and risk them to dry before I use them entirely. Anyway, once the 5M will be empty, I'm sure I'll use them as I definitely love all Posca markers. I did not realize when doing it, but it's a mirror image of the first one. I guess I could have been a bit more original, but too late. I guess I can say it's different because the mountains are not as straight as on the first painting. The sky is glassy blue and the nib is the smallest one, 1 emer. Painting the sky with that kind of nib was simply awful. I thought I would never finish. Yet you must have seen I made the mountain and the cloud bigger, especially to not spend so much time on this blue. But really, it felt like it didn't help at all. I don't get why Posca didn't made a bigger size for this color. Actually, I don't get why Posca don't make all their colors available in all their nibs. Do you see the sides of the done pieces? I really like to paint them. It gives a really clean and finished look. But it's not easy to get the angle right. It's not enough to just continue the line as before. That's what I did for grey and sea. It seems slightly crooked now. That's okay though. I won't see it in this angle all the time, and if I decide I really don't like it, I still can correct it. If you don't want to paint the side, whether it is because you don't like the effect or because you don't want to spoil paint, I really advise you to put masking tape on the border and to not paint on all the surface. Of course, you do as you wish, but I think it gives a modern look. Oh, you can even make some details escape the white border. That could look really nice. I want to do that now. Anyway, let's go back to our painting, the purple piece. We have 2 new colors in this one, lavender and apricot. The new colors feels more delicate than the older ones, but maybe that's just an impression because they are new to me. They just seem more muted, less flashy. I like them a lot, and the purple gradient needed a lighter shade. Anyway, this piece represents mountain forest. The choice of color is quite unusual. Green might have been more traditional, but I have purple left. I think this gradient is interesting. You know, we see the nearest mountain very well, and then it fades the farther it goes. So, if I did this huge swatching, it was to be able to compare how the colors go together. On each canvas, each color is next to 3 other colors. So, that's already that. But how can I test how well it goes with the other 34 colors? I can't just keep swatching, that would be completely impossible. Well, that's easy. I just took my canvas and put it next to the color I want to associate it with. For example, fuchsia and ivory seems great together, as well as light green and green. But I don't think I would put fuchsia and dark wine next to each other. It just doesn't seem right. The board is magnetic and I glued magnet with a glue gun behind all my tiny canvases, so this is very easy to use. And I put the board on the door of my art studio, so all those colors give me motivation to enter it and paint. I'm very glad I made it. I hope you liked this video and that all those swatches give you ideas for your own. Maybe you'll do tiny landscapes too now. Tell me what you think in the comment section. See you soon for Inktober!